Thank you so much for the introduction. I would like to welcome the participants. I will start by thanking BIM Africa and Zigurat for organizing this session, and I hope you will find it fruitful. It's a pleasure and an honor to be among you today to share my experience and background in the field of BIM, focusing on BIM for infrastructure. The reason I have selected this topic today is I've lived and interacted with Africa in different levels, and I know that Africa is a very developing and promising continent. It has a lot of resources, human capital and natural resources, and these natural resources and this human capital will require a lot of digital arm, a lot of digital support to be able to take it further. And to be able to have this digital arm and digital support, I think infrastructure plays a significant role in advancing Africa in all perspectives. And to combine the digital world with the infrastructure world, I opted to select BIM for infrastructure as a topic that I believe of interest to all people who live in Africa or work in projects in Africa. I will share my screen now, so I will just disable my video to have a better quality of the presentation. I'll start by giving you a small introduction about myself. I'm sure you can follow me on LinkedIn, or my name is Issam EL-Absi. I am a civil engineer by profession. I've been working in the field of BIM and digital transformation since almost 23 years. My major experience comes from an international organization and a mega contractor in Africa and in the Middle East. It's called CCC. It's one of the international contractors. It's very well established and very well known in Africa, especially in roads and infrastructure projects like water resources and dams and all similar infrastructure works. I started my work in CCC since 1995, and I have an accumulated experience of 30 years of construction experience and implementing BIM and digital transformation in construction and in engineering. My focus is on CCC as a contractor, and myself as an expert in the field. I was working mainly in infrastructure works, a lot of projects in roads, bridges, tunnels, railway. You can imagine all kinds of infrastructure that is important for the development of societies and countries. In this presentation will be divided into four parts. The first part will be an introduction about our capacity in BIM and in digital transformation. The second and third and fourth will be three use cases of how we managed to implement and leverage BIM for different types of infrastructure projects. One is a road, and the second one is an airport, and the third one is a mixed development of a highway, a road, a railway, and underground utilities. We have started the BIM journey since in CCC in 1997. And since that time, we realized the importance of this technology for the construction process and for all the stakeholders of any project, from concept design through engineering, design, all the construction stakeholders and the construction process until handing over and then after construction. From our experience, we have realized that the most important factor and the most important element for advancing digital transformation and BIM and construction is competent engineers. So that's why we have created and developed hundreds of engineers, and those were the assets of CCC and for the BIM centers of CCC. We have created 3 centers of excellence, one in Europe, in Athens, one in Cairo, in Egypt, in Africa, and one in Asia, in Palestine. Those are centers hosting professionals and experts in the field of BIM and construction digital workflows. Of course, during the last 22 years or more, we have managed to implement BIM effectively in all kinds of projects, whether it is oil and gas, buildings, civil, infrastructure, ports, all the kinds of functions and functionalities of an asset, whether it's a road, it's a bridge, infrastructure component, building a vertical construction, or a horizontal construction. We have developed a consultancy arm, we worked with many clients in the region, like Siemens, like ADNOC, like ADAC, like Sunway. Those are big clients in the Middle East, in Asia, and in the Far East. And as I told you, we have realized the importance of education and knowledge in this field. That's why we have established a BIM Academy. This BIM Academy is offering education for BIM engineers in CCC and in other companies. And we will talk later more about this BIM Academy. Of course, our services in BIM covers all the life cycle of a facility, from contractual, quantity surveying, scope management, material takeoff, engineering like shop drawings production, design drawings production, constructability, clash detection, and so on. And since we emerged from a construction and environment and from a contractor, controlling the project operation was important, and we managed to implement BIM effectively for controlling the construction processes, such as controlling time, controlling the progress, controlling the quality of the constructed components, and then controlling the cost, which is very important for all the stakeholders. We have managed in an effective way to take BIM to fabrication, and we have managed to implement BIM through the full life cycle of fabrication, from 3D model to fabricated items to CNC machines or cutting machines in controlled factory environments. Also, we have managed to take the manufactured components back to the construction site. So we covered the full life cycle of fabrication and manufacturing. And of course, we have managed and implemented as-built processes to advance the as-built and as the constructed facility, the final shape of the components of construction and the final shape of the facility. And we used laser scanning and point cloud solution to depict the as-built conditions of facilities and assets. Of course, to complete the picture and give complete service to our clients and partners, we have taken BIM and digital transformation workflows after construction. So we managed to implement BIM for asset management, facility management, operation and maintenance, and even integrating BIM with GIS, which is the Geographic Information Systems of societies, municipalities, and clients. Last but not least, of course, as I said, education and the knowledge around all this digital transformation was important. That's why we have established a BIM Academy that is offering effective and professional education to our engineers and our supply chain and other partners and clients. I'll just, because of the importance, and I believe of the importance of education, so I give this slide to show you what are the topics that we use to educate our students for the last 10 years in the BIM Academy. This is a one-year classroom education that takes an engineer that has no background about BIM or digital transformation through all the processes and all the knowledge required for him to understand how to create quality information models for all disciplines, structural, architectural, electrical, mechanicals, infrastructure, bridges, roads, and so on. And then he is capable of producing a comprehensive quality information model in a 3D environment, applying standards, whether they are international or local, enriching these models with data and information that can be leveraged for controlling the construction process, such as controlling time, quality, and cost. Of course, ensuring clash-free and problem-free construction process by conducting effective and expert clash detection and RFI process to ensure the completeness and accuracy of the design. Then we teach the student how to extract and use this 3D environment to extract correct and accurate drawings, 2D drawings. And then we teach him how to use 4D simulation and scheduling simulation to create 4D studies to understand the construction process time-wise and ensure that it is constructible and time-wise it is effective. Of course, we also teach him how to use this technology for presentation and rendering. And as I said, how to use it for controlling the project execution. And last but not least, we expose him to the facility management process and how to leverage BIM for both construction activities such as facility management, operation and maintenance, and asset management. This was our BIM Academy one-year education. What you see in front of you is photos from previous year's academy. Those are students and engineers from the academy. It was 2011. This is the classroom and this is the workshop room where we have the computer lab, and computer lab is equipped with the latest BIM solutions, and they were taught how to use and leverage these solutions to create quality BIM models. Those are examples of the projects that the students were managing to deliver completely within a BIM environment. And this is the graduation project where they applied the methodology they have learned over a year in completing a complete design using 3D BIM solutions and applying all the quality control measures, all the 4D simulation functions, all the clash detection functions, all the project controls functions. We used to bring consultants and professors from the international market and from international organizations to enrich the education process. And of course, we used to combine that with site visits where the students will see with their eyes how they can implement BIM in the construction operation. Of course, because this education was really effective, powerful, and successful, we opted to find an online partner where we can expand this education to the international market and to the whole world. And we found Zigurat as a very reputable and strong online education provider. And they are very specialized in BIM education. So we have created a partnership and we created an online master program called the Global BIM Management for Infrastructure Projects. And we have been giving this master degree since this is the third year now, and it is really very effective. It is exactly, it came from the same curriculum and components and instructors of the BIM Academy, and it goes to the online world, advancing international students to utilize the same concepts, the same topics, the same methods, the same workflows to be able to use the BIM technology in an effective way. The graduate from this master, the online master degree, gets a dual degree in BIM and digital construction. This master degree covers mainly 5 different specializations: roads and highways, railways and metro lines, tunnels and bridges, underground utilities or subsurface utilities, and buildings. We are proud to say that this master degree has received a lot of impressive and reputable acknowledgement and accreditation from big organizations such as the University of Barcelona, Bentley, Autodesk, Canada BIM, the BRI, the British organization, CIAT, the Chartered Institute of Architectural Technology in UK, the National Taiwan University, and the BIM Forum in Chile, and also Building Smart. Okay, in our workflows, we realized that we need to advance our experience and the implementation of BIM and digital transformation for more fields. And that's why we decided to create an integration between BIM and smart building solutions, BIM smart infrastructure solutions, and BIM and smart city solutions. So we have created a partnership with a very reputable organization called SenseOne. They have an application and a platform for IoT, for smart cities and smart buildings. We have created a complete integration between our solutions and their solutions, and we are offering jointly smart BIM-based smart building and smart cities solutions for our clients and within our portfolio of services. Of course, we have, as I said, we have implemented BIM in many projects over the last 25 years. Most of these projects are big, of impressive size, iconic. Their value ranges from $50 million up to $11 billion in different parts of the world. So we have left diversification of region, local standards, international obligations, local requirements, regional requirements, specific client requirements. So we have managed to adopt our workflows and methodology for all the different requirements of our clients. And we have effectively managed to deliver BIM in our projects to serve the construction operations, to serve our clients, and to play a great and significant role in reducing the cost and increasing and enhancing the quality of the final product. This is our most impressive and most iconic implementation we have done ever. This is the Midfield terminal building in Abu Dhabi, and this will be our second use case. I will come to talk about it later. Those are some examples of our projects. This is the Midfield terminal building in Abu Dhabi. This is the sport facility in Doha. This is a big hospital in Qatar. This is a huge facility for ADNOC, and this is a big infrastructure road. This will be our first use case, and this is the Riyadh Metro project. This is an $11 billion project. Of course, we have done many. Those are just sample of the projects that we have done. Of course, part of our advancement and knowledge sharing and knowledge transfer, we have engaged in international organizations such as AECO. AECO is one of the most biggest effective European forums for advancing technology and research and development. We have been engaged with this organization for almost 15 years. And this is our first use case. This use case is, it's a ring road. It's in Qatar, in Doha. It's about 15 kilometers of project. and 40 kilometers of services and temporary roads. The cost of this project is about 370 million US dollars. The total road combined between the highway and the temporary roads is about 66 kilometers. This project started in 2011. It was concluded in 2014. It was our first big road project, not building project, first big road project. And we have implemented BIM for scope management, for variation management and quantity surveying, for design coordination and clash detection, for giving the client a perspective of the final product and how the final road will be integrated with the environment. And also we have supported our engineers for producing shop drawings. This first impressive implementation was really recognized, and we are proud to say that this is one of the most successful road implementations that we have done from the first time. This is a small video that will show you different components of the project. I will play it for you. Please enjoy the different features of this project. The reason I wanted to share with you this video is to show you how much detailed is the final model, the BIM designs that we have created. All the components of the road were included, including signage, traffic lights, curbs, asphalts, all the components. Why we did this? Because it was important to have all the components in our model to control the scope of the project, to eliminate the chances for any scope creep, to eliminate the chances for uncontrolled variations, and to be able to make all the stakeholders understand what is the final product, the time required, and what are the scope of each and every subcontract. As you can see, even the road markings and the signage were modeled and were controlled from quality, from progress, time, and cost. In our second use case, this is the most iconic and impressive use case for BIM that we have ever done. It's the Midfield terminal building in Abu Dhabi, in United Arab Emirates. This project is still under construction. The following screen shows the different rendering from the BIM model that was developed. And as you can see, it is very impressive, very iconic, very complex in geometry. It's really an architectural feature that can be seen from almost 2 kilometers approaching the airport. The height of the roof of this airport is about 60 meters. The distance between the end to end of the airport is about 1.6 kilometers, which makes it an impressive and very big airport. The following figures gives you an idea about the size and complexity of this facility. The built-up area is 700,000 meters square. The project value during tender was $3 billion US, but now it is about $5 billion US due to variations. It can accommodate 65 aircrafts at the same time, 8,500 passengers per hour. It can serve up to 19,000 packages per hour, and the package handling conveyor belt's length is about 22 kilometers. That was during design. Now it is around 27 kilometers. In this project, the client requested BIM to be implemented for the first time contractually. So the JV who won this tender was supposed to have strong BIM capabilities and arm to be able to implement BIM effectively from design, from engineering, through project controls, to control the contract until fabrication, and then handing over for facility management and operation and maintenance. So luckily, CCC was part of this joint venture, and we had all the capacity and capabilities and resources to implement BIM effectively in this project. Now we are in the handing over stage. We are delivering the digital twin of this airport to the client in stages, and we expect that this project will finish in early 2021. Our BIM methodology can be summarized in this slide. So BIM is not only the model that you see and you like and you entertain your eyes with, but it is more of how to integrate this beautiful image, the components of that image in a smart way with all the functions and all the departments, with all the workflows that are in a construction project. And as you know, the construction process is complex, is full of complexity in the execution. It is very dynamic, and you must have a robust platform that can accommodate this dynamic, complex environment. So this is our vision of how BIM should be implemented, especially in mega and complex projects. Just to summarize this complex chart, it integrates the 3D BIM environment with the commercial aspects of the project, with the time aspects of the project using a solution like Primavera, with the storage, material, and procurement process, with all the subcontractors involved in delivering the project, with the fabrication process, with the document control and document management and collaboration platform. And finally, all this are augmented in our 3D visualization platform that can read all these different systems, the data, the attributes, and display and show the final custodians different reporting, different managerial information that can be leveraged to give correct and informed decisions. Of course, as you can imagine, or from your experience in BIM, interoperability is quite of a challenge, and definitely in this project, interoperability was a huge challenge, and to be able to tackle and to manage the different stakeholders, which is almost 120 different stakeholders, different contractors, different subcontractors, client, designers, supply chain full of manufacturers, vendors, and you can imagine, we had to find a very effective way to ensure that all the participants in the digital process are delivering their portion of the information in the correct and in the effective way. That's why we came with this idea. It's called electronic data interchange. It's a protocol that we develop for each and every participants in the supply chain, with each and every stakeholders of the process, so that he knows how to deliver his graphical components, his information, his databases, and in a way that can be plugged in our augmented platform, so the client can have a view of the execution of the project in general. Of course, we had to use different modeling techniques and modeling environments and solutions that can accommodate the complexity of such a project. As you can see, we could model any kind of element, no matter what was the architectural features, how much was the complexity, and no matter what was the degree of complexity, we managed to accurately depict and model the components of each and every discipline in this project, as you can see in the front. A very important feature of a correct and effective BIM installation is that this environment should be able to manage the scope of the project. So if you manage to have your BIM establishment capable of capturing all the project scope, so definitely you can accurately identify the scope, manage it, integrate it with time, capture any variation, and be able to take this further to different implementations and more effective control of your work, subcontractors' work, vendors' production, and manufacturers' production. So we believe so much in having BIM as the main source of truth for the scope of any project or any facility. Of course, to be able to deliver a project completely to our clients, to cater for both construction activities, or even to integrate BIM with topics like time, quality, and cost, we had to invent what we call it asset naming convention or asset tagging. We have developed a suite of products, in-house products, that can take the 3D model and create for each and every component a unique tag or unique identifier. This unique identifier captures the location of the object and captures information such as the trade and the material. And this name, what you can see here in front of you, this is a unique name that can be kept in a database or can be integrated with other systems and databases. And this is what we are doing since almost 20 years now. And this what makes our implementation for BIM effective and makes our handing over process also effective. Definitely part of the BIM process is how to collaborate and how to collect the information, manage it, structure it, store it, and then distribute it to the supply chain and to the different stakeholders. In this project, we have used one of the most famous design coordination platforms and collaboration solutions, which is ProjectWise. And we have accumulated big experience in this system, and it was very effective and productive in this project. And since we believe that digital collaboration does not substitute physical collaboration 100%, so we have created what we call it an iRoom. The iRoom is a digital place where all the stakeholders, as you can see, sitting in the same room with 9 different touch screens and PCs connected to 9 different screens in this big wall, video wall. So each and every supplier or subcontractor is showing his problem on one of the screens. And once we decide to do a design coordination session, the whole screen and all the models shown will be augmented together, and we start the clash detection and the design review process. This was very effective and very attractive to all the stakeholders and to the client as well. And we managed really to reduce the number of days required to answer RFIs from 28 days to 7 days and sometimes 2 days. This is an example of how we could manage and use BIM to control equipment, cranes, accessibility to site, and all site logistics. And of course, I'm sure that you have seen similar examples of this. But in this project, it was very important because of the size and the cost associated with these equipments. It was very important to control and make sure that these components and these equipments are well utilized, effectively optimized, and you don't overlap and have any risk of any kind. Definitely, clash detection and design coordination was an important aspect and deliverable that we had to do. We need to make sure that each and every construction site or each and every constructible components are hassle-free, and we don't face any challenges or surprises during construction. So before we go to construction, we used to augment all the models before a month of the execution process and do extensive design coordination process, including soft clashes, hard clashes, accessibility clashes, maintenance and operation classes, and so on. And we make sure that each and every clash we found gets an ID, and this ID is stored in a system. We have developed a clash detection solution that will follow up with the different stakeholders the status of this design coordination problem or clash problem, and make sure that before the construction starts, a notification is being sent to all the stakeholders, ensuring that this clash has been resolved before the construction starts on site. As you can see, this is an example of the tag that we create automatically for each and every clash. As also an effective way of utilizing BIM for construction, especially in infrastructure projects, we have created a system to control the openings in concrete elements and architectural elements such as walls. And again, each and every opening has a unique tag, and this system ensures that the opening is in its place in due time, and it is treated and ready for the other stakeholders to come and put his pipe or duct or any utility. This is a system that we have developed from the BIM models to show for each and every component of the construction what is required to deliver that component. And you make sure that your team goes to this area and ensure that all the components are delivered, quality controlled, and you have like a certificate that this part is approved for payment or for quality. Of course, 4D simulation was an important outcome for implementing BIM in this project, and all the stakeholders were looking after how they can use BIM in an effective way to ensure that their construction schedule is really constructible. And I have to put here a comment that the 4D simulations that we used to do were not normal 4D simulations by connecting the 3D objects to time. No, we were connecting the 3D objects to the time, to productivity, and to the scope of execution, so that we can ensure when we say that this schedule is constructible, then it is really constructible from all perspectives. Of course, such a project with size, complexity, and many stakeholders, it was very important to use BIM as a scientific way to control variations and variation orders. And we have used BIM to quantify the effect of variations. And it was a peaceful way to ensure that all the stakeholders, whoever is claiming something and whoever is accepting the claim, are satisfied, because everything was visually inspected and scientifically approved. As I said, it is very important to leverage BIM for fabrication, and such complex projects we have managed successfully to implement BIM from construction to fabrication in an effective way. And those are some examples. This is, for example, a very important example of how BIM can save the project a lot of time and effort. In this project, this is a small story, but I would like to share it with you. This project is supported by 18, the facade, sorry, the roof of the project is supported by 18 arches, huge arches, over the span over 180 meters. These arches are covered with this metal cladding, as you can see. And due to the complex geometry, because there were arches that are skewed in the space, so this makes each and every panel of the cladding is unique. You don't have a repetitive in any of these panels. So we ended up having 42,000 panels that are unique. The supplier or the manufacturer came to us saying if he wants to finish this, he needs 2 years. And In the construction schedule, it was allowed only for 6 months to finish the whole manufacturing process, not the installation, only the manufacturing. So we created a complete solution from the 3D model, from BIM, and we have created an application that managed to reduce the time that the fabricator wanted from 2 years to 3 months. And we managed to finish this process 3 months earlier than expected. So on this slide, we are demonstrating how BIM could be leveraged to control the interfaces between the project and all the functions of the project and other contractors, subcontractors in the region. So as you can see here, those are interface points. Those interface points are visually shown and also controlled within a system. So for example, if you want to connect with the firefighting system of the municipality or the water system of the municipality, you used to have this interface shown in the model and controlled within the system. This kind of interaction used to control the relation between the project team and other stakeholders. So trying to eliminate any dispute or delays for the subsequent subcontractor, contractor, or client. And of course, we would not miss the chance of proving and ensuring that BIM and digital technologies can be used also to ensure sustainability in construction and sustainability in design as well. So we have leveraged BIM during the construction process to ensure that the client and the contractor are gaining points and the building is gaining point through making the construction process more environment friendly and more sustainable. This is the third use case. This is a mixed development, and it's an infrastructure project that contains a road, a light rail train, a tunnel, stormwater tank, a lot of utilities, subsurface utilities, and buildings like fire pump stations, electrical rooms. So it's a complete example of a comprehensive infrastructure project. This is a 3D view of the project and the tunnels associated in one of the intersections. In this project, of course, we have managed, of course, to have an automated way of controlling and the clashes and ensuring that the design process is clash-free. And this is an example of the drawings that are automatically generated from our platform. We have implemented laser scanning extensively and continuously to ensure that everything is built, is captured, and the as-built process is happening on the spot. And we update our models continuously to reflect the as-built condition on site. As you can see, those are different point clouds from that project. This is a visual report that we use to share with the client to show the different components of the project. So we use it for visual presentations to our clients. And this is a very nice way of showing progress to clients. So you can see red is in progress, green is finished, and gray is completed before. Of course, I have to ensure here that we managed through the comprehensive methodology that we apply for roads, bridges, and tunnels and infrastructure utilities to combine and overcome the interoperability issues between the different disciplines. And what you see in front of you is a combination of different models, landscape models, infrastructure models, roads models, subsurface utilities models, tunnel models, bridges models. They are all combined in one environment. And this combination makes us controlling very well the scope and very well the outcome of the BIM process, and we are ensuring to the supply chain and to our, for example, project team, that any question can be answered, and we used to give them a lot of assistance in understanding the requirements and understanding the constructability issues in depicting problems before they happen. Of course, I have to highlight that our experience and background in automation and in making the authoring process and the information management process more effective through programs and tools developed by our experts and automation team helped us a lot in making the automation and making the authoring process more effective and more powerful. So we have created a lot of tools that create many 3D objects accurately with the properties they need in a few minutes, and instead of spending hours or days. Of course, part of our workflows and standard method of operation is that we always enhance our models with information that helps controlling and ensuring the integration between BIM and different functions such as progress, quality, cost, and many others such as facility management or operation and maintenance. So we always have our tools and utilities and our workflows customized towards adding effective information that will ensure that our models are smarter and helps advancing the process of digital transformation after construction. So we're always ready to deliver to our clients an information model that is with high quality, with all the information that he might need for post-construction. This is an example of how we generate automated material takeoff from our models. And this is just also another example of how we use laser scanning and our BIM models to ensure that the constructed components are as per the design requirements and the design criteria. So at this point, I end my presentation. I hope you found it interesting. And I would like to open the door or please, if you have any questions or you have any comments, I would be happy to hear your questions.
Thank you very much for the time. That was a very explosive walk through some of the major infrastructure projects across the world, and it's quite interesting to see the deployment of BIM and digital infrastructure in their development process. Thank you very much, and we really do appreciate that you are taking time to present during a fasting period. We really do appreciate that. The floor is now open for anyone who has questions. During the session, I think that there were some questions in the chat box. So the first question said that how were you able to treat the variations that occurred in the project when you said that there was a variation of about $2 billion?
Okay. A very good question, and thank you for asking the question. And also thank you, Moses, for your comment after my presentation. Of course, it's my pleasure and honor to be part of today's session. Now, coming back to the question about the variations. Now, this comes hand in hand. If you need to have an infrastructure ready to capture the variation, which means usually variations come from an instruction from an engineer or the client to do some changes. Okay. So what we used to do is always we have the first contractual model. This contractual model is our base for comparison. So once we receive a change or a variation, we always have our team robustly doing these changes and variations and creating a new model. This new model captures the variation and extracts the effect of this variation from cost, time, material takeoff, and so on. So now you have the contractual model, you have the first variation model. Now, if this variation is approved, it becomes your reference. And now, so the contractual model, you have the revision 1, and then you might have also another variation, which is revision 2. So our team, because we have also the knowledge, the experience, and capacity, whenever we receive a new instruction for variation, we used to create a new version of the model and create an assessment, an automatic assessment, most probably, between the previous version and the new version. And we provide this to the client. And once he approves it, partially or completely, it becomes also a new version, and so on. So by that, the client could see the effect of his instructions on the consequences on time, cost, and overburden on the supply chain. So having this scientific way of showing to the client and the different stakeholders that this, the effect of the variation is this and this and this, and he can see it visually, helps a lot in believing in the transparency of the process. And the transparency of the process is a key factor for everybody to accept variations or to accept refusing the variation.
Okay, thank you, sir. So do we have other questions? Kindly unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Fatima Jongolo from Malawi. I'm also a student. So my question is, you said that you give like the BIM Academy education and you have involved Zigurat, I think.
Yes, correct.
Hello?
Zigurat, yes. Yes, Zigurat.
Yeah. So how do you give the people who are schooling through Zigurat, like how do you give them the hands-on experience? I mean.
Yes, this is a very good question. Actually, the hands-on experience is translated through effective ways, digital effective ways. So we give them assignments, workflows, advices, live sessions, and projects. And these things are coming from practical view. So everything that we have done in the academy that was physical, we have translated it to be virtual. And if you manage to have the chance to enroll in one of our live sessions, we can offer you some free live sessions, and you can contact Zigurat for that. You will see that the method of education really helps in transferring the hands-on experience, even from software perspective, from a workflow perspective, from implementation perspective, in an effective way. I know for some of you, it might be something new, but when you try it and you practice that, you'll understand that this is effective. And as I said, now we are doing this for the 3rd year, and we have hundreds of students that are very satisfied with the outcome.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Does that mean that BIM Academy is different from Zigurat, like the online Zigurat that is giving? Or is it the same thing? Or are you doing both of them? Or are you doing Zigurat with the COVID? Thank you.
Yeah, actually we are doing the same. We are doing the academy education, but this academy education is not for everybody, because not everybody can come and travel to the academy in Greece. So that's why before the COVID-19, 2 years before, we have designed this cooperation with Zigurat. So we are also offering the same BIM Academy education, but through Zigurat as an online master degree. So instead of coming and making the effort, and it is costly to come to Athens and live for 1 year and take the education, maybe leave your job, you can stay in your place, enroll with Zigurat, and get the same level of education online without traveling.
Okay, I want to ask my question. Is what are the requirements for enrolling for a BIM project management course for building construction?
As a BIM Academy with Zigurat, we are offering the BIM management for infrastructure projects. And as I told you, it has 5 specializations: roads and bridges, tunnels, roads and highways, tunnels and bridges, buildings, subsurface utilities, and railway. This is what we are offering with Zigurat. Zigurat is offering other also master programs, but it's not from the BIM Academy.
It's from Zigurat.
It's from Zigurat, yes.
Issam, one question regarding deployment of IT as regards to the collaboration. So my question was regarding your project of Abu Dhabi Airport. Was a cloud deployed for this collaboration? And if the cloud was deployed, what kind of cloud was deployed? And what kind of IT complications you had faced, and how did you address that? Avinash here.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. Actually, in this project, it was not a cloud solution. It was locally deployed in the project, and everybody was accessing the data from the project servers. The complexity it wasn't really complex. We had a very secured and robust IT department who managed to, with the cooperation with the Bentley team, we had easily successfully installed servers and all the requirements like cache servers, web servers, and this stuff. And everybody was accessing in a secured way the data of the project from that setup. But it was not a cloud solution at that time. And, you know, the project was done, was started 8 years ago, just to tell you. So at that time, cloud solutions were not popular yet. And even nowadays, when they are popular, some clients and governments refuse to have cloud-based solutions, and they insist on deploying any solution on their local infrastructure.
But being an expert, if I ask you your recommendation, would you recommend an in-place server vis-a-vis cloud for such a complex project?
To be honest, I would not change the current setup. If I had the chance, I would keep it as such. I will not make it. I will not change it to a cloud solution.
Is it for the data security reasons or some other specific reasons?
It's mainly for the data security reason. You know, this is an airport, and there is a lot of sensitive data, and there is so to avoid any sensitivity or you know, complexity from security. So I think I would prefer to keep it local deployment.
That answers my question. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you for the question.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, my final question is, like, with the presentation you have given, you look so organized. Like, you really know what you're doing. Are there any challenges that you're facing so far?
Yeah, okay. This organization came after many years of work and try and error and failures and successes and so on. So, of course, we had challenges, we had difficulties. The fact that we became very powerful now is, or very effective now, came from our, from 2 things. Of course, we tried a lot. We had the chance to experience our capabilities in all kinds of projects with a different clients and different also sizes. So we managed to shape and solidify our experience very well. We have enhanced our capabilities with resources that are very smart, very skilled. They have IT capabilities, they have automation capabilities, programming capabilities. So all this played a role in make us organized and effective. But as I said, nowadays things are becoming easier because a lot of the work we used to do it ourselves are being availed from the software industry. Of course, I'm not saying everything, but let's say the complexities are saved by 40% at least. So the effort that was supposed to be done many years before is much less now. All what you need to have is organized thinking, very well educated resources and skilled resources. And if you educate your skilled resources well, you can achieve many returns from BIM and digital transformation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for your time. We'll be ending this session now. Any other questions can be forwarded to our email, and then we'll pass it across to the facilitator. Thank you very much for your time. Once again, this is the BIM Africa BIM Talk. You are all invited to visit our website and check for resources and information that may be of help to you. For those of the participants who are based in African countries, you are allowed to register also as a member and participate in our community. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Issam, and we wish you all a blessed day.
Thank you so much for your time and for the participants for making the effort. And I hope that we'll keep in touch. And if you need any question, please feel free to ask me. It was my pleasure and my honor to be with you today. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.